Good morning, good evening, and good night, everybody. My name is Sarah, and today we have a slightly different video, my TBR. Now, just to be clear, these are not all the books I want to read. I have so many I want to get through, but these are simply the ones that I own that I know I want to, or at least have lined up to read next. So, that being said, let's start out. The first book, the book that I plan to read next, is Just One Thing After Another, The Chronicles of St. Mary by Jodi Taylor. Yes, I know that's not the full title. I'm an innocent children, guys. Innocent, we're blocking that, we're blocking it. Okay? Now, I really love time traveling books. And I really love historical focused books. And I really love books that take history and fact and time travel, mix them together, and have consequences. And going by what I know of this book, that's exactly what it's about. The first thing you learn at St. Mary is that one wrong move and time will fight back. And that just seems like such an amazing concept to me. Like, I want to read this book because I want to know what happens. I know very little about it, but it just looks so pretty and the cover is so soft and like time travel and history, and guys, I need to read this. I need to read this so bad. Yeah, it's the next book I will be reading. And the current one I'm reading also has time travel in it. Well, immortal beings that go back and forth in time. You'll understand that in the next book review, okay? And I just love time travel books, so I'm really excited to read this book. The next book I want to read, you're probably all going to hate me, Carry On. I have not read this book yet, and you want to know why? See how big this book is. I'm a very slow reader. And if I'm going to read this book, it's going to take me a while. And I want to find time to sit down and properly enjoy it. But like, you all know what this is about. I wanted to get the different cover of this book, but I ended up getting this because it was on sale. And like, I saw it and I had to grab it. And I'm like, I gotta get this book. From what I know about this book, because I have been trying to keep myself spoiler free, is that it follows the worst chosen one ever chosen. And just doesn't that sound like a great idea? The next book I'm slightly cautious about. It's The Raven Boys by Maggie. And, well, I've heard many good things about this author. But looking at the reviews, it's kind of iffy about this book. There seems to be like a lot of romantic subplot. And I don't like romance, especially if the subplot overruns the normal plot. So like, I want to read this book because I want to know more about this author, but I'm cautious because like, I might not like it, and I don't want to waste time reading a book I don't like, because I've clearly done that enough already. I just need to find a book that I like, and it's like a short-ish book too. Like, how many pages is it? It's only like 300. It's not that bad. For what I know about this book is that, well, not everyone's supposed to see the dead. And the only reason why somebody who's not supposed to see the dead sees the dead is that either you killed them or they're your soulmate. So, yeah. Cautious. I want to read it, but I'm cautious. Now, the next book, I actually kind of cheating on because I started reading, but I put it down. But I want to keep reading it because I've heard a lot of good things on it. And that's The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. Now, I've heard so many good things about this book, and the main driving factor is it's hilarious, it's funny, but I've started reading it, and I have yet to find that humor. It seemed very dry, but I'm like not too far in. We're only on page like 20, so we'll see. It's a very thin book, as you can tell. I'm definitely going to pick it up again, but I'm cautious about it. Now, the next book is kind of just me being a nerd. Treasure Island. Yeah, I've never read this, and I'm really sad about myself because I want to write a book focused around pirates. I actually have a couple different ideas for books about pirates, and I want to get more used to them before I start writing. I just kind of write in my free time, but I like historical accuracy even in fiction books, even in fantasy books. So I just want to get used to what people expect and see what I can do with it. But yeah, like look at this. I got it for like $2. Of course I'm going to buy it. The next book can't even do a review on, so it's probably going to end up in like a pile of books that's like, I want to talk about because I love, but I can't talk about it. The Heart of Everything That Is. And it's the untold true story of Red Cloud. Now, if any of you know Native American history, you know about Red Cloud. Like, this guy, he's... Imagine you're a person who's just living your life, you have no weapons outside of like some pointy stuff, and then some idiot comes in and decides to wreck your entire home and kill everyone you know, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna fight him. And then he does and he wins. Like, but as you can tell, this is a family book. It's very well loved. It's very well read. I'm super excited to read this. But I want to get books reviews out frequently, and I don't know when I'm gonna have the time to do that because I'm a slow reader, and so I'm like, I can't review this, but I want to read it. It's probably I'm gonna talk about this eventually. I know I will. But like until then, remember me. The final book on my TBR list that I want to talk about to you today is The Rise of the Shield Hero. And this, this book is actually the base of a manga I'm really enjoying right now. And for those of you who don't know, manga is Japanese comics. They're black and white. They're printed backwards. You know, I'm gonna show you guys something. This is a manga that I loved very much. I love this, but as you can see, the spine is not on the right side because it was originally printed in Japanese, and in order to keep the format correctly, they just changed the text and they didn't flip the pictures or anything. Like, this is the back of the book. This is the front of the book. You read the book by opening it right here, and again, it's black and white, and it's so there's one of these based off of this. And as you can tell, this one's printed correctly because there's no pictures in this book. It's just text. Well, I mean, there's a couple pictures, but like, that's just pulled directly from the manga that it was, because this is a reprint of an English version. But I absolutely love the manga, and I want to read the original source material because I know a couple things have changed. And the reason why I love this story so much is that there's this kind of old trope back in really old video games where it's like there's the sword hero, the lance hero, the archery hero, and the shield hero. But the shield hero kind of was just kind of there. He was there to defend things. He couldn't do much for the party, and so people kind of made fun of that character. And I don't want to go too much in spoilers because I do plan on doing a review on this book, but essentially it's these people from our world get sucked into a fantasy world, and they're the chosen heroes. One of them's the sword hero, one of them's the lance hero, and our main character is the shield hero. And nobody likes him, and it's beautiful. It's essentially like this guy's trauma and hatred towards this world, and it's such a raw story, and it's amazing, and like, I can't talk about it too much because I want to give a review on it, but like, I'm super excited to read this. Even though it's like on the back of my TBR, that's because I already know the story. So like, I want to read new stories, but like, I like this one. I like this one a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a little bit of a weird video for me, but don't worry, the reviews will be back up real soon. If you have any suggestions on what books you want me to add to this list, leave them down in the comments below. And while you're there, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, good night, good evening, and good morning, everybody.